looks like it is about ready to start raining, pouring down. Never fails. Every time you get off work, that's when the rain decides to start. A lot of people wonder, and a lot of people have asked me, Brian, why do you ride this little cheap, crappy bike? Why do you ride that thing when you have so many premium folding bikes to ride? Well guys, I'm gonna tell you why I ride this bike to work every day, why I ride this particular bike, and I'm also gonna show you a couple of reasons why I ride this bike to work every single day. One of them is because of this, the rain. I don't mind if this bike gets dirty. I don't mind if this bike gets wet. I don't mind riding in the rain on this bicycle. That is one big reason, and it feels like it's about ready to rain, so I probably should hurry. I don't know how well you guys saw that, but I am able to get this bike through the turnstile here at work. It makes it so much easier to access the lot. Now, granted, I can get the Brompton and the Bike Friday through the turnstile at work, but it's more of a pain in the butt. This bike, it's just quick, it's easy. I can do it within seconds, whereas with the Bike Friday and the Brompton, it's kind of awkward getting through that turnstile. The whole yard is actually fenced in, so the turnstile is security. There's two ways on this lot. There's through that turnstile, and then there's the main truck entrance up here. I don't like going through the main truck entrance, partially because there's a lot of semis rolling through there, and I feel awkward being a guy on a folding bike riding through the truck entrance. It's just really weird. But with this bike, it's so easy. I just open that up, I fold it in half like this, and then I can just dolly it. I can just dolly it right through the turnstile. It's so beneficial and easy. Literally takes a second. You see that truck? That's the truck entrance to where I work. And there's another truck. This is the only other way onto the lot. And I would have to ride there with all the trucks. Yeah, it makes it a pain in the butt. It's really awkward. I mean, I'm riding this little bitty folding bike and I got these huge big semi trucks all around me. It's just, it feels really awkward. I mean, I'm like, hi guys. And they're looking at me really weird, like, is that guy really on a little bitty tiny bicycle? It's just awkward, that's all. It's really awkward. Yeah guys, those mountains are beautiful. I really wish I was up in the mountains right now. I'm probably not going to talk too much. The wind is really brutal right now, and I don't want to put you guys through that. It's kind of annoying listening to wind sounds. So I'll talk with you guys here in a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more about why I ride this bike to work and back every day. I told you that wind is brutal today. Really brutal. See, there's Denver right there, guys. Oh, that wind was brutal. It was tough. Oh, Beans. Hi. 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 Oh. That was a tough one, guys. That was the hardest wind I've ridden in a while. I mean, there's been a couple times when it's been really harder than that, but not too many times. Whew. Beans. Beans. Frijoles. Hey. Hey. Hi. How you doing? Huh? How you doing? You okay? You didn't have any wild parties while I was gone, did you? I've been really not liking riding the Zizzo Forte because I have not got that gearing right ever since I changed it out from the original gearing. It works pretty good, okay, but it still messes up from time to time. Sometimes it'll just mess up continuously and it's so aggravating. But a lot of times during a ride, the chain will skip or sometimes it'll derail, and it's such a pain in the butt because then I don't want to get my hands greasy. So I'm like, oh man, I got to find a stick or something. Sometimes the chain gets jammed up. Sometimes it gets jammed up in the back wheel, which causes a lot of problems. And it's so irritating. It really is. But for the most part, I really do like riding that bike for various reasons. One of which you saw, it's really convenient for me to get inside work. Now, back when I started that job, they didn't have that turnstile there. I think they put up that security because a disgruntled employee said he was gonna go in there and bang, 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 you know? So they got scared and they decided to put up security gates all around the perimeter. It really aggravated me at the time because I had full-size bikes and I couldn't get them through that turnstile, so I had to go around. I had to go through the truck entrance, as you guys saw. And now that I got folding bikes, I can get them through that turnstile. The Bike Friday is more difficult. It's the most difficult to get through that turnstile because it's aggravating because I got to hold the bike, the wheel flops over, and then the handlebars, you know, it's just so aggravating getting the Bike Friday through that turnstile. The Brompton can get through it as long as I fold it almost all the way down. I can leave the seat up and dolly it through just like I dollied the Zizzo, but the problem is I got to fold it. So I got to flip the rear triangle under, and then I got to fold the handlebars down, you know, fold the front wheel over, fold the handlebars down. I pretty much got to fold up the whole bike. The only thing I don't have to do is put the seat down. Well, that takes a little bit more time and effort than just doing what I did. Pop a button, boom, it's folded in half and I can go right through that turnstile gate. It's so easy and it's so convenient and I like it a lot. On top of that, that bike, you know, that bike is so convenient when it comes to the weather. As you saw, it did not rain on me, but if it does rain, I'm not worried about that bike, okay? I'm not worried if it gets dirty. I'm not worried if it stays dirty for a week. It's also set up to where I can put panniers on the side of it. My panniers are waterproof, my backpack's waterproof, plus I carry rain gear. So if it does really start pouring, I could stay fairly dry for the most part. As you see, I am wet from sweat. So I'm not worried about getting wet when it gets this hot. When it gets this hot, the only thing I'm really worried about is my shoes. And we'll talk about rain gear in another video, but I don't mind riding that bike in the rain. That bike is just such a joy to ride in the rain. It really is. The only problem, and we've got to figure something out on this drivetrain, man. I think I went a little too crazy on the drivetrain. The gear on the front being a 60 tooth is just too big for that bike. And I think that is one of the reasons why it keeps derailing quite consistently. At least once a ride, it'll derail because it really depends on how you turn and if the bike flexes a little bit. Or if I hit a really hard bump, sometimes the chain will come right off. I don't know. I'm thinking about kind of downsizing the front gear to about a 53 tooth or 54 tooth front chain. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes.
The next day.
And of course, this is another reason why I actually like riding this bike to work, because of how wet it is outside. Even a nice sunny day like this, the ground will be completely saturated. And the reason why the ground is completely saturated, Gotta be careful not to get hit by a garbage truck. If I'm gonna go, I wanna get hit by a Mercedes, not a garbage truck. But you see how the grass is like really dying here? And then there's patches of green. A lot of times they've got to saturate the crap out of this patch of grass in order to keep it green. Here in Colorado, this is a semi-arid climate. It's almost like a desert. In order to have green grass like this, they got to constantly keep wasting water and saturating the heck out of this grass. And even with the saturation, you'll still see patches of it where it's dying. You see over there where that grass is like really light green to almost brown? That's what the grass would normally look like, or it'd be weeds like this right here. But instead of letting the land be the way the land is, a lot of people want that picturesque, nice green yard. I told a guy watering his grass, he was complaining about, oh man, my grass keeps dying. I'm like, if you want green grass, move to Missouri. This is a desert. This is what the grass is supposed to look like. Just a couple of weeds. But people waste a lot of resources trying to keep this grass green. I mean, they have to saturate the grass, which saturates the road and the walkway, which really makes me mad because I spend hours cleaning my bike to roll right through that. And a lot of people think, well, rolling through water is gonna make your bike dirty. Yes, it does. All that road dirt goes right on your bike, and your bike looks scuzzy after it dries. It's horrible. And a lot of people would say, well, Brian, doesn't your Brompton have fenders on it? Yes, this has fenders too, guys. I don't know if you notice this, guys, but when you ride through water, it gets all over your bike, regardless of whether you got fenders or not. You see all this dirt that's all over the frame? I just cleaned this bike a couple days ago. All that dirt got all over the frame. And you know what that is? That's dried water from me running through water that's on the pathway. This is a common misconception. The fenders don't keep the bike clean. It keeps you clean. The fenders keep the water from splashing up all over you. You'll notice when you ride, the water splashes out the sides of the fenders as well as coming out the back of it. So the water still gets everywhere. It gets on your shoes as well. So it's just really irritating when you spend all the time cleaning up your bike and then after one ride it looks just as scuzzy as it did after a week's worth of riding. That's aggravating. All right, I had to put my vest on. You see, this is what the grass would look like right here. This is what the grass looks like here in Colorado naturally. But yeah, having to ride through all that water that they constantly saturate the walkway with is just such a pain in the butt. So having to clean my bike every day, I don't want to do that. I like cleaning my bikes like once a week. And that's one of the reasons why I like riding this bike, man. It's just, I don't have to clean it every day. I just leave it dirty and it's perfectly fine. And lastly, guys, another reason why I like riding this bike to work is you see the drivers here in Colorado. On a day-to-day basis, I almost get hit, I don't know how many times. If I get hit and a bike is going to get damaged, I'd rather it be my cheapest bike than my more expensive bikes, which are harder to get. Bromptons lately are getting harder and harder to get. So are Bike Friday is really hard to get. And I don't want those bikes getting damaged like that. And it's just inevitable. It's going to happen on a commute. One day, somebody's going to run out in front of me. I'm going to hit them. It's going to bend my bike all up. I might even get really hurt. And I'd rather not damage my good bikes. I'd rather damage my cheapest bike. Even though a lot of people say, well, their insurance would pay for your bike. Well, yeah, but the Brompton's hard to get, you know, with supply chain disruptions and everything. The Bike Friday is really difficult to get, so it'll take a long time to replace it. And I'm not even really so much worried about that, you know. A lot of these people will damn near run you off the road because they're not paying attention and they run into the bike lane and you run off the road and crash into the grass and they'll just keep going. So your bike will get damaged or damaged really badly and you won't get it repaired because guess what? They take off and you'll never see them again, and guess what? You're out of bikes. So like I said, a lot of things can happen on a commute into work, especially here in Colorado where the drivers are less than perfect. And what I mean by less than perfect, I mean really crappy drivers. So yeah, if I'm gonna damage a bike, I'd rather it be this one. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get on the lot here. I gotta get to my building and get to my station and get to work. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave it down in the comment and questions section. Slap a like on the video if you like it, guys, and I will talk with you on the next one. Bye-bye.